James, can I tell you something embarrassing?
Always. This is literally my favorite part of the show.
Okay, so last week I was at this dinner party. Very fancy, nice people, good food, and I was having a conversation with this guy, super intelligent, very well spoken. And I said to him, if I was you, I would have left that job years ago.
Okay. What's wrong with that?
James,
What?
that is exactly the problem. That is exactly why we are doing this episode today. Because even people who teach English, even people who have been speaking it for years, still get tripped up by two tiny words:
Was and were.
was and were. Two words, past tense, look simple, sound simple, and yet they cause more confusion, more second guessing, more embarrassment than almost any other words in the English language.
And the thing is, people don't even realize they're getting it wrong half the time. They just have this uncomfortable feeling like something sounds off, but they can't put their finger on it.
Exactly that feeling, that nagging feeling. And today, we are getting rid of that feeling forever.
Welcome back to Enhance Your English. I'm James.
And I'm Emma. This is episode 2. And if you haven't watched episode 1 yet, where we broke down be, been, and being, go watch that first. The link is in the description.
But if you're here and you're ready, let's get into it. Was versus were. Let's go. Okay, before we get into the rules, let's just establish what these words actually are, because I think sometimes people learn the rules without understanding what they're actually dealing with.
Good point. So, was and were. Both are past tense forms of the verb to be. Remember episode 1? We talked about be, the root verb. Was and were are what to be looks like in the past.
So in the present tense, you have am, is, are.
Right. I am tired. She is tired. They are tired. Present, right now.
And in the past tense, those become was and were.
I was tired. She was tired. They were tired. Past, already happened.
So on the most basic level, was is the past of am and were is the past of are.
Exactly. And if that was all there was to it, this would be the shortest episode in podcast history.
3 minutes, done. See you tomorrow.
But of course, it's not that simple because English never makes things that simple. There's a second job that these words do, and that second job is where almost everyone gets confused.
The subjunctive.
The subjunctive. And I can already hear people reaching for the off button.
Don't touch that button. I promise we are going to make this so clear, so painless that by the end of this episode, you will actually enjoy it.
That's a bold promise, James.
I'm a bold person, Emma.
Okay, let's start with the easy part, the basic rules, the ones most people already kind of know, but let's make sure they're completely solid.
So rule number 1, was goes with I, he, she, it, singular.
Say the example slowly.
I was at the party last night. He was very nervous before the interview. She was the best student in the class. It was a beautiful evening.
Perfect. All singular, one person, one thing. Was.
And rule number 2, were goes with you, we, they, plural, or you, even when it's just one person.
Yes, this is something that confuses people. Even when you is just one person, you still use were, not was.
So you never say you was there.
Never, ever. Even if you is one single human being standing right in front of you, it's always you were there.
Why is that? Just out of curiosity.
Honestly, historical reasons. English used to have different you forms for singular and plural. Over time, they merged, but the were stuck around for both.
English just decided, you know what? Let's keep were for you forever. No exceptions.
Basically, English is dramatic like that.
Okay, so let's do the full chart, nice and clear.
I was.
You were.
He was, she was, it was.
We were, you were, they were.
Print that in your brain. Tattoo it somewhere. That chart is the foundation of everything.
And here's a trick that I personally find really helpful. If the subject can be replaced by they, use were. If it can be replaced by he or she, use was.
Oh, that's good. Give an example.
Okay, the students blank very quiet today. Can I replace the students with they? Yes, they were very quiet today. So the students were very quiet today.
Another one. The teacher blank very strict. Can I replace the teacher with they? Well, I could in modern English, but traditionally, he or she. So the teacher was very strict.
See? Simple test. Works almost every time.
Almost, because now we need to talk about the tricky part, the part that even native speakers argue about,
The subjunctive.
the subjunctive. And I can already hear people reaching for the off button.
Don't touch that button. I promise. We are going to make this so clear, so painless that by the end of this episode, you will actually enjoy it.
That's a bold promise, James.
I'm a bold person, Emma. Okay, the subjunctive mood. And before anyone panics, let me explain what mood means in grammar, because it's not about feelings.
Right. Grammar mood has nothing to do with whether you woke up happy or sad today.
In grammar, mood just means the intention of a sentence. Is the sentence talking about something real or something imaginary? Something that actually happened or something that might happen, could happen, should happen, or definitely didn't happen?
And that distinction, real versus imaginary, is everything when it comes to was versus were.
So here's the rule. When you're talking about something real, something that actually happened, you use the normal rules. Was for singular, were for plural.
But when you're talking about something imaginary, something that didn't happen or isn't true or is just a hypothetical, you use were for everyone, singular included.
So even I, even he, she, it, if it's imaginary, if it's hypothetical, were.
Not was, were, always.
And this is where my example from the beginning comes in. If I was you versus if I were you.
Right. Am I actually you? No. Can I ever actually be you? No. It's impossible. It's hypothetical. It's imaginary.
So the correct version is, if I were you, I would have left that job years ago.
Technically, yes, that's the grammatically correct version. And in formal writing, always use were in hypothetical situations.
But here's the nuance, and I think this is important to be honest about. In everyday casual conversation, many native speakers say was in these situations and nobody blinks.
That's true. Language evolves. If I was you has become so common in informal speech that most people don't even notice it anymore.
So what do we tell our listeners?
Here's my advice. In formal situations, job interviews, presentations, professional writing, important emails, use were for hypotheticals. It sounds more polished, more educated, more intentional.
And in casual conversation with friends, don't stress too much. Both are widely understood.
But, and this is important, you should always know the correct form, even if you choose to use the informal version. Know the rule, then decide when to apply it.
Knowledge gives you choice. Ignorance gives you no choice at all.
Beautifully said. Write that down.
Okay, let's really get into this hypothetical were, because I think more examples will make this click.
Yes, so there are specific sentence patterns where hypothetical were shows up. And once you recognize these patterns, you'll always know what to do.
Pattern number one, if I were, or if he were, if she were, if it were, any if sentence where the situation is not real.
If I were taller, I would play basketball. Am I tall? No. Is this real? No. Hypothetical. Were.
If she were here right now, she would know exactly what to say. Is she here? No. Is this happening? No. Hypothetical. Were.
If it were possible, I would travel every single month. Is it possible? We're implying it's not quite possible. Hypothetical. Were.
Now contrast that with a real if sentence.
Right. If he was late yesterday, he should apologize. Was he actually late? Maybe. This is a real possibility, not imaginary. So, was. Singular. Normal rules apply.
So the test is this situation real or could it actually be real? Use was. Is it definitely not real, impossible, or just in your imagination? Use were.
That's the clearest way I've ever heard it explained, James. Seriously.
I have my moments.
Pattern number 2. I wish sentences.
Oh yes, these are everywhere in everyday English.
I wish I were better at this. Am I good at it? No. I wish I was, but I'm not. Hypothetical. Were.
She wishes she were in Paris right now. Is she in Paris? No, she wishes she was. Hypothetical. Were.
He wishes it were Friday already. Is it Friday? No. He's wishing. Imaginary. Were.
And you'll notice in all of these I wish sentences, you could replace were with was in casual speech, and most people wouldn't correct you. But in formal writing or careful speech, were is the correct choice.
Pattern number 3. And this one is my personal favorite because it sounds so sophisticated when you use it correctly. As if and as though.
Oh, as he talks as if he were the boss.
Is he the boss? No. He just acts like he is. It's not real. Were.
She looked at me as though I were a complete stranger.
Does she actually not know you? Let's say she does know you, but she's looking at you as though, as if, you're a stranger. That's the imaginary version. Were.
She spent money as if it were water.
Is money water? Definitely not. Hypothetical. Were. And that sentence, by the way, is a really common English idiom. Spending money as if it were water means spending recklessly, without thinking.
I know a few people like that.
Don't we all? Okay, quick pause. Because if you are learning something today, and I hope you are, then we want to make sure you don't miss what's coming.
Every single day, Emma and I show up with a new episode. New words, new concepts, real conversations, no textbooks, no boring lectures.
This is episode 2. Tomorrow is episode 3, and we are not stopping. So if you want to be part of this journey, subscribe to Enhance Your English right now. The button is right there.
And hit the bell icon so every time we upload, you know immediately. Don't let anyone get ahead of you.
Drop a comment, too. Tell us, have you ever mixed up was and were? Be honest. We've all been there. This is a safe space.
The most honest comment gets a shout out in tomorrow's episode. All right, back to it.
Let's talk about some of the most common mistakes people make with was and were, because I think hearing the wrong version and then the right version is one of the fastest ways to train your ear.
Hit me.
Mistake number 1. We was so happy when we heard the news.
Oh no, we is plural, always takes were. We were so happy when we heard the news.
Mistake number 2. You was the only one who believed in me.
You always were. Singular or plural, doesn't matter. You were the only one who believed in me. That's actually a really touching sentence, by the way.
Focus, James. Mistake number 3, and this is a big one. I wish I was somewhere else right now.
Okay, so this is the hypothetical one. And like we discussed, in casual speech, this is widely accepted. But the technically correct formal version is, I wish I were somewhere else right now.
Because the wish hasn't come true. You're not somewhere else. It's imaginary. Were.
Mistake number 4. If he was smarter, he wouldn't make these mistakes.
Is he actually smart? We're implying he's not. We're imagining a version of him that doesn't exist, hypothetical. So, if he were smarter, he wouldn't make these mistakes.
Although, be careful with this one. If you're saying if he was rude to you at that party, meaning you're not sure if it actually happened, that's a real possibility, so was is correct there.
Yes, context is everything. Always ask yourself, am I talking about something real or something imaginary?
Real, normal rules. Was for singular, were for plural.
Imaginary, hypothetical, wishful were for everyone.
Okay, let's make this really practical. Let's go through some real-life situations where was and were come up and nail exactly what to say.
Situation 1. You're telling a story about your childhood.
When I was a kid, life was so simple. My parents were always working, but my grandmother was always home. My friends and I were inseparable. Those were the best days.
Perfect. All real, all past. All actually happened. Normal rules. Was for singular, were for plural.
Situation 2. You're giving a professional presentation and talking about a past situation at work.
Last year, the whole team was under a lot of pressure. The deadlines were tight, the resources were limited, but despite everything, we were able to deliver.
Clean, professional, correct. Were for team could actually go either way. Team is a collective noun, but were works perfectly here because you're treating the team as a group of individuals.
Situation 3. You're having a deep conversation with a friend about life choices.
If I were in your position, I honestly don't know what I would do. If the situation were reversed, if you were me and I were you, it would be so much easier to give advice.
Beautiful. Both hypothetical, neither of you has actually switched positions. Were throughout.
And situation 4. You're writing a heartfelt message or letter.
I wish things were different. I wish we were still in touch. If the circumstances were better, I know things would have worked out between us.
All wishes, all hypothetical, were throughout. And honestly, that's a really moving letter.
Don't send it though.
Grammatically perfect. Emotionally, consult a friend first.
Okay. I want to take a moment to talk about something that I think is genuinely fascinating, about why this subjunctive were exists in the first place.
Oh, yes, let's get a bit philosophical.
So think about what language actually does. Language isn't just about describing what is, it's also about imagining what could be, what might be, what we wish would be.
And that capacity to imagine, to think hypothetically, is one of the things that makes humans unique.
Exactly. And language evolved to capture that. In many languages around the world, there are special forms, special verb changes, specifically to signal, hey, what I'm about to say isn't real. It's imagined.
And in English, the leftover trace of that system is this were that we use for hypotheticals.
It's like a secret signal. When you say, if I were you, the were is quietly telling the listener, this didn't happen, this can't happen, but imagine with me for a moment.
That's actually kind of beautiful when you think about it.
Language is beautiful when you go below the surface. That's why I love teaching it. Most people see grammar as a set of rules to memorize. But really, grammar is a map of how humans think.
Okay, now you need to put that on a t-shirt.
We're going to have a whole merchandise line by the end of this series.
All right, let's talk about some tricky cases because was and were have a few situations that are genuinely subtle, and I want to make sure we cover them.
Go ahead.
Tricky case number 1, collective nouns. Words like team, family, group, class, government, company.
Ooh, yes. These are interesting because technically they're singular words. One team, one family, but they refer to multiple people.
And in British English versus American English, the rules actually differ here.
In American English, collective nouns are generally treated as singular, so the team was playing well, the family was at home.
In British English, collective nouns are often treated as plural. The team were playing well. The family were at home.
Neither is wrong. It's regional preference. But be consistent. Pick one style and stick with it.
Tricky case number 2. There was versus there were.
Ah, the classic. So the rule here is simple. It depends on what comes after there was or there were.
If what follows is singular, use was. There was a problem. There was one person in the room.
If what follows is plural, use were. There were many problems. There were 50 people in the room.
But here's where people slip up when they list things. There was a pen, a notebook, and a laptop on the desk.
Technically, that should be were because there are multiple items. There were a pen, a notebook, and a laptop.
But in speech, there was is used so commonly before a list that most people don't notice the mistake.
Again, formal writing, go with the technically correct form. Informal conversation, your listeners will understand you either way.
Tricky case number 3. Was or were with neither and either.
Okay, so neither of them was ready, singular treatment. Or neither of them were ready, plural treatment.
Both are used by native speakers, but traditionally, neither and either take singular verbs, so neither of them was ready is the more formally correct version.
In practice, though, neither of them were ready is extremely common and widely accepted.
English is wonderfully inconsistent.
It really is. And that's why context, reading a lot and listening a lot, matter just as much as learning the rules.
Emma, I want to revisit something you said at the top of the episode about being at that dinner party and saying the wrong thing. What actually happened after?
Nothing dramatic. The person I was talking to just continued the conversation. He probably didn't even notice. Or if he did, he didn't care enough to say anything.
And yet you still remembered it, still thought about it enough to bring it up today.
That's the thing about language anxiety. The mistake might be tiny, invisible to everyone else, but inside your head, it echoes.
I think a lot of people listening right now know exactly what that feels like.
And what I've learned after years of teaching, years of learning other languages myself, is that the echo eventually fades. The more you learn, the more you practice, the more confident you become.
You don't eliminate mistakes, you just stop being afraid of them.
Yes, and there's a huge difference between I made a mistake, I'm so stupid, and I made a mistake, now I know better.
One is a prison, the other is a classroom.
Every single mistake you make in English is a free lesson. It costs you nothing except a tiny moment of discomfort, and what you gain is permanent.
I think that's something people need to hear not just for English learning, but honestly for anything difficult they're trying to do.
Language learning is just life learning with grammar attached.
Put that on a t-shirt.
All right, time for our quick-fire practice round. Same as last episode. I give you a sentence with a blank. You fill it in. And everyone at home answer before James does.
Ready.
Yesterday, all my troubles blank so far away.
Were. Yesterday, all my troubles were so far away. Wait, is that a Beatles lyric?
It absolutely is. And it is grammatically correct. Troubles is plural. Were.
Nice.
Okay, serious ones now. If I blank the president, the first thing I would do is
Were. Hypothetical, not real. If I were the president.
she blank the most talented person in the room, and everyone knew it.
Was. Singular, real, past event. She was the most talented person in the room.
I wish today blank a holiday.
Were. Wishing for something that isn't true. I wish today were a holiday.
The results blank better than anyone expected.
Were. Results is plural. The results were better than anyone expected.
He acted as though he blank completely innocent.
Were. As though. Imaginary, hypothetical. He acted as though he were completely innocent. Whether he was innocent or not, that's the imaginary version of himself he was projecting.
Flawless, every single one. James, I'm genuinely impressed.
I was a good student. See what I did there?
Singular, past, real. Was. Yes, correct.
Okay, let's bring it all together. Clean final review. Emma was.
Was. Past tense for I, he, she, it, singular subjects. Real situations that actually happened. I was there. He was nervous. It was perfect.
Were.
Were, past tense for you, we, they, plural subjects, and critically, for all subjects when the situation is hypothetical, imaginary, or wishful, after if in unreal conditions, after I wish, after as if and as though. You were amazing. They were ready. If I were you, I wish it were different. She talked as though she were in charge.
And the one-line test? Real situation, normal rules. Was for singular, were for plural. Imaginary situation, were for everyone, no exceptions.
That's it. That's the whole lesson. 2 words, clear rules, and a little bit of context sensitivity.
You know what? I want to do something. I want to use was and were in one single paragraph. About today, about this episode. See if you can catch every use.
Go ahead.
Today was a good day. Emma and I were both excited to record this episode. The topic was something we were both passionate about. There were moments where the concepts were challenging, but that was the point. I wish every lesson were this clear. And if learning English were always this enjoyable, I think far more people would try.
Perfect. Every single one correct. Let's count. Was for singular real situations, were for plural real situations, and were for the 2 hypotheticals at the end, I wish and if learning were.
See? When you know the rules, it flows naturally. You don't have to think, you just speak.
And that is the goal. Not just to know English, but to feel it, to trust yourself when you speak.
All right, everyone, we are wrapping up episode 2. And honestly, this one was deeper than I expected.
Was, singular, correct.
See, it's already becoming automatic.
Before we go, your homework. 2 parts today.
Part 1, in the comments, write one real sentence using was or were about something that actually happened to you recently.
Part 2, write one hypothetical sentence, something you wish were true, or an if I were sentence, about your dreams, your goals, anything.
We're reading every comment. Best ones get a shout out in episode 3.
And speaking of episode 3, tomorrow we're tackling something that causes arguments even between fluent English speakers, something that even professional writers get wrong.
Tune in tomorrow to find out what it is.
Subscribe to enhance your English if you haven't already. Bell icon on, every notification.
Share this episode with one person who needs it, your friend, your colleague, your family member who's been learning English, because the best thing about learning is learning together.
This was episode 2.
It was a good one.
It really were... Wait. It really was. Oh my goodness. Even I almost made that mistake just now.
See, this is why we do this show.
It really was a good one. Singular, real, was. I'm so sorry, everyone.
The teacher makes the mistake live on air. I love this show.
Okay, for real this time. This has been James.
And this has been Emma.
And you've been watching Enhance Your English. See you tomorrow.